Hi guys, welcome back to Touching Concrete. My name is Brooke.
And my name is Layla.
And today we have a super exciting episode that's been in the works for about a month and a half.
Mm-hmm.
So we're very excited to welcome a new guest.
Yes, we have our special guest, Scott Sorensen. I'm going to pass it over to you if you want to do a brief introduction of yourself.
Oh, man. Yeah. You got my name, so that's good. Scott Sorensen. I'm actually a West Coaster. So I was born in California, raised in Washington State, and then I made my way over to Raleigh like 6 or 7 years ago. And I love the East Coast. But yeah, I'm the founder of Sodabox. And that started like kind of COVID was the first thing. And then now we have 6, if you count the stadium, of 8 locations.
Wow.
So yeah, we're blowing up pretty fast. It's exciting.
Yeah. So it's been about 5 years?
With Sodabox?
Yeah.
Yeah, so 2020 was like we built a prototype, built literally a shipping container box, set it down in a gravel parking lot in Apex, and just tested it out. Like, is this going to work? Or how hard is it going to be to convince people to try us type of thing? And then we sold that. And I convinced my brother to move from Seattle. His whole family, his wife was pregnant.
Wow.
I'm like, let's build a soda company. And he's like, okay.
Yeah.
And then we opened up our first actual brick and mortar in 2021. So it's been more like 3 years.
That's awesome.
Wow. For those who may not be familiar, can you kind of explain like what Sodabox is? Like, what do you guys make?
Yeah.
What do you guys sell?
Yeah, it's a common question because people are just like, is it just soda? And then is it your own soda, whatever? But it's the market's kind of evolved. It's actually been around for like 10 years, maybe longer, 15. And it's kind of become known as dirty soda.
Uh-huh.
No alcohol,
Yeah.
but it is a dirty soda shop. So we have Coke, Pepsi products. We have our own energy drink line. We also have, Red Bull and Monster. And so we have normal sodas, but then we like add a twist to them. So we'll add what we call dirty is whenever you add cream.
Mm-hmm.
So like a Dr. Pepper with cream, phenomenal. Like
Yep.
just your basic Coke with cream, like a dirty soda. It's incredible like how much just a little twist or a fresh lime, just basics like that really like level up a soda. Seltzers too. Like we'll just do like literally like kind of like make your own lemonade. So you can have like fresh water or seltzer water bases as well. So a lot of people like to get those because we'll put fruit in them and things like that. Kind of make your own juice. So it's all over the place. But the core product is dirty soda, which kind of now is you putting anything in there, coconut, vanilla. But to us, we say, like if someone were to say, I want a dirty Dr. Pepper, we do cream and Dr. Pepper. So dirty to us means you add cream.
Okay.
But it really is like the whole category now. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
That's cool.
Do you have a favorite?
Oh,
Mix?
man, it rotates. I'm an energy drink guy. Like I probably shouldn't have this documented, but like 2 or 3 a day, like
Wow.
for like since early 20s. Like my body loves caffeine. I don't know. I don't get shakes or jitters. I can down a Monster and then go take a nap. Like
Same.
Wow.
yeah, right?
That's me with Mountain Dew. I was like
Yeah.
10 drinking Mountain Dew.
Yeah, it like
so-
calms me down. Like I don't know, helps me focus, It's like soft Adderall for ADD people or something I've heard. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not a doctor, so but
On the record, not a doctor.
yeah, on the record, not medical advice. Maybe cut that out. No. But no, I've always loved energy drinks. I don't care what brand. I always like to try all the different flavors. And then I started mixing in like orange juice and things like that. So I did that through college and whatnot. And then dirty sodas kind of started in Utah where I went to school.
Yeah.
And then when I moved out here, I was like, this is home base. The South is Pepsi, Coke. Like this is where it's born. This is soda center. So I was like, well, let's try dirty sodas out here. And we were so far away and things like that. And I was like, well, let's just make our own brand. So I had been an entrepreneur, have been for 10 years plus. And so I'm not going to say I'm a designer, but I had a great designer friends and things like that. I can do like mock-ups and stuff like that, and then they take it to the next level. So designed and created our own brand, turned it into Sodabox originally because we were in a shipping container, like literally in a box.
Mm-hmm.
And now we've got the 6 stores.
Wow.
Wow.
So when you moved here, did you try Cheerwine for the first time?
Yeah. So Cheerwine,
yeah.
never heard of it, didn't know what it was. In Utah, they've got, it seems like every little region has their own thing. They have apple beer,
Oh.
which is funny. Again, not alcoholic,
Right.
Cheerwine, not alcoholic, kind of funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's an apple-based soda that's regional. It's really good. But here, yeah, Cheerwine, and I made sure to definitely have that on. 'Cause
Yeah.
in the shipping container, we only had like 6 heads, so we only could pick 6.
Okay.
We bought literally out of the back of a van in like Tennessee nowhere, bought an old soda machine
Wow.
from some guy,
Wow.
fixed it up ourselves. Same thing with the ice machine, because finding Pebble Ice is really difficult.
Yeah.
And you have to have Pebble
You
Ice.
have to.
Must. All right. Don't even start a soda shop if you're not having Pebble Ice. Just
Right.
get out.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So literally bought both of those from like a warehouse at some guy's farm, and then the other one, and ended up trading up. I was on the beach. I was at Wilmington, and the ice machine we had was like one for a house.
Mm.
And this guy, I'm not kidding, we like met him on the beach. We're hanging out. We go to his apartment, and he's got a giant Pebble ice machine on the floor in his kitchen. And I'm like, what are you doing with that? He's like, yeah, I bought it. It's too big. I'm like, I have the same one, but smaller. You want to switch? He's like, yeah, sure. So literally had my buddy drive his truck out. We swapped ice machines and then put that thing in the shipping container. So that was like kind of the inception point where it worked out. But yeah, Cheerwine was a must-have on there. And we talked a little bit with them on social. I need to connect with them better because I want to make like a unique drink with them. Like we have on the menu right now, Dirty Cheerwine, and it's really good. But I want to like work with them to make their own like little riff on the soda shop.
People would love that.
Right?
Yeah.
People in
Yeah.
the South love Cheerwine.
Yeah, we love Cheerwine for sure.
Quick kind of detour going back. What, if you don't mind me asking, what college did you go to? And like, what did you major in? Like, did you know you wanted to start a business and be an entrepreneur?
No, definitely did not know what an entrepreneur was or anything like that. I went to BYU in Utah, and let's see here, economics and a business minor. So I did like dabble in that. And then I had like 1 or 2 credits I had to finish in the summer, so I couldn't graduate at the end of winter. I had to take 1 or 2, but it was like, well, crap, what am I going to do for the summer? And a buddy of a friend was like an entrepreneur, or sorry, it was an internship. I was like, cool, let's do a little summer internship. And this guy had started this company. I was like the 8th or 9th employee. And over the next 4 years, I think they went to $100 million. They made these portable solar power battery packs and stuff.
That's cool.
And they had 100 employees. They just blew right up. And I like watched this entrepreneur journey happen. I had like 10 jobs, all within the same company. I thought it was going to be like a 6-month thing. I remember during the interview, which was like April or something, and he's like, yeah, I don't know if we'll be around in December. And I was like, well, I don't need a job, this internship. I just needed something to do till I graduate.
Mm-hmm.
But while I was at that job, I had kind of like a marketing mentor because I'm like this college kid, and all of a sudden I had this like $1 million budget, and they're like, go for it, Scott. I'm like, okay, you want to like spend your money? Let's figure it out. So they got me a mentor, and he gave me a book called 4 Hour Work Week. If you guys are familiar with that, Tim Ferriss. I think this is like honestly like the godfather of like remote work.
Mm.
And 4 Hour Work Week, it blew my mind to read that book and just hear Tim Ferriss talk about like just hacking work. Like one of the core principles that just stuck with me forever is like, why does every job take 8 hours a day?
Yeah.
Like that makes no sense.
Right.
And so his idea was like, if I can get it done in an hour, but I got the result you want, why does it need to take 8 hours?
That's true.
So he was like, well, what can I just like hyper hack? I'm going to do a 40-hour work week. I'm going to do it in 4 hours. And he just tried to figure out ways to do that. He had like virtual assistants way back in the day and stuff. And yeah, that concept just ruined me. I could never have a normal job again. It was terrible.
Yeah, that's actually something I worry about because I'm a business major.
Mm-hmm.
And so I have this deep-rooted fear of just sitting in a desk all day
Yeah.
because I need to be doing stuff all the time. Like I don't like to
Yeah.
sit still. So
We had cubicles there. We went from the lifetime table plastic thing set up, and then we grew up and we had cubicles and we're sitting in these squares, and it definitely was that. It was like, why is my soul feel like it's being sucked out of me while I go to work? But I will say, like, I actually think all entrepreneurs need to do some corporate stuff as a foundation, like sales if you can, for sure. But you need to get your butt kicked. You need to realize that, like, because if you do start a business and you are a founder and you are an owner and you're going to employ people, you need to know what it feels like to be employed. Because otherwise you can't be a good employer. And so I've been able to like really be grateful for getting my butt kicked for a few years and hating life to now, like at Sodabox, I'm like, I want us to have cool shirts. I want us to be wearing stuff the kids want to wear at school. I want music in the stores. I do not want it to be boring. I want this to be like, I want people, it's a job. You still get paid to do it because you wouldn't do it for free, right? Like you still need to do your job and clean and do all this other stuff.
Right.
Like I want people to look forward to going to work. I want them to have fun. So that's always stuck with me because I was like, man, jobs suck.
Yeah.
How can we make this better?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you started this business. What advice would you give to a student wanting to start their own business?
Don't do it. No, somebody called me asking for advice. One of my friends back home from Washington, and she's like, "Oh, I'm tired of this, job, and we want to like take life into our own hands, and I don't want to work for myself." And I'm like, man, like yes, but like you think 9 to 5 is bad. This is 24/7.
Yep.
Yeah.
This is 7 days a week. Like a day off. Like what a weird concept for me. Like I do not understand that. Like the always on call. Like the biggest and worst problems don't care what day it is. They don't care what time it is. So it's like I don't know. It's just in you. Like it just is this that like you're describing. It's this like feeling that like I can't sit at a cubicle all day and just click a mouse, these patterns. It's like I need new challenges and do all that stuff. So it is not for the faint of heart. It is very difficult. And I will say, like, Sodabox is probably my 9th or 10th company. Like, I would say expect to fail and look forward to it. Like, I did like a Kickstarter wallet company at the beginning. We did like this toy company for a while that went pretty well. But like, man, I've probably had 4 or 5 business partners that didn't work out. Now we're with my brother, which has just been amazing. So you just expect to, it's weird. It's like entrepreneurs, I feel like we're chronically optimistic and we think like, this is the next $1 billion idea. This is the next Facebook, as I would say. And none of them are. Like, just forget that. But you almost have to have that in you. You almost have to actually think that to do it. And then, you just need to learn to fail because you just get better. That's how you learn. So I don't know if that was very encouraging, but it's like everyone's not meant to be an entrepreneur. I remember this is actually a pretty good story. So my first business out of like my first real job, I wanted to teach people and start the business with really good branding because we had this company and we looked like our branding, our packaging looked like we belonged in these stores, which we started selling into. We started selling into REI and Cabela's and Bass Pro Shops. They were buying our stuff. And they didn't realize that like we were like on these little plastic tables in the warehouse, like barely getting by, but we looked so good. So when that company sold and, my awesome 4-year journey there, 9 different jobs. I always say I worked in every department except for finance and HR. Like I did not want to touch those. Mm-hmm. Which now when you're an entrepreneur, you're like, oh my gosh, you definitely need to know finance. So you need to have a balanced spreadsheet. Don't skip that class, guys. So I wanted to start this branding company, and I started. I asked the founder of that company to mentor me. So we went to dinner with his wife and him once a month, and I was telling him like, I want to teach people to have their own jobs. Like I want to help them get marketing and branding so that everyone can be an entrepreneur. So I'm telling him this vision, and he was like, "What you just described is a lot of people's nightmare." Because I was like telling them, I'm like, they can leave the 9 to 5 and they can have their own business and they can start their own thing. And because a lot of times when you do this, like you only make what you work to earn.
Right.
You don't get a paycheck. Like it's not like a job where you work 9 to 5, you check these boxes and your paycheck comes every 2 weeks. Like that is not it. And so I was like telling him like, I want everyone to do it. And he's like, I felt that, he's 60 plus something. And he's just like, yeah, I have that idea too. He's like, but that idea of no steady income and working with maybe out with reward, or maybe it's a few years down the road, like that is people's nightmare. Like a lot of people, maybe most people, would rather just have the consistent paycheck, sit in a cubicle, and check some boxes. And it was a big eye opener for me. And as I looked around, I realized, yeah, that's actually true. Like truly, entrepreneurship is not for everybody. And but everyone should try it because I do think it is also important. Like an employer needs to know what it's like to be an employee. I think a lot of employees don't realize how much pressure and how difficult it is to be an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I took a entrepreneurship class last semester actually, and my professor, one of the first things she said to us was like, it's not easy. And
Yeah.
she had a few businesses that she had sold, but she was saying how she wouldn't get paid for months when she
Mhm.
had first started because she had all these other obligations.
yeah,
So
everyone else gets paid first for sure.
Yep.
You're the last one if there's extra. That's it.
a very selfless job.
Yeah, I think it is. I mean, innately, it's like it's just this giant gamble. You're just
Mhm.
like, man, in 10 years, maybe,
Yeah.
and it really just comes down to like realizing what you're getting is the experience.
Mhm.
And you just, as long as there's a really good guy, Alex Hermosi. You guys know Alex Hermosi?
I don't.
Very great. He's awesome podcaster. I mean, he goes on podcasts. He's an entrepreneur.
Okay.
And he did like gyms and things like that, and really breaks it down really well. I feel like he's probably one of the best in the game right now. Him and Gary Vee. If you guys know
Mhm.
Gary Vee, he's
Yeah.
been around forever. He's a legend. But Alex Hermosi basically just says like, as long as you don't quit, you won't lose. Like it really is just like you're gonna fail, you're gonna go bankrupt, you're gonna do all these things, but as long as you don't quit and you keep going, you didn't lose, and eventually you'll break through because everyone quits, and I think that's the real lesson is why like 9 out of 10 businesses or something fail, is because they quit. And I think last week Brett and I woke up. It was like Tuesday, whatever, and it was like, all right, what's the miracle of the day we're gonna have to figure out? And that's like literally how it feels like. It's like you're just constantly thrown these impossible things, and you're like, okay, how do we solve this? Like, because the answer is always no. The answer is always, well, you just take a nap. Is a lot, but it's like just keep pushing and don't quit. And all of a sudden, it's like if there has to be a solution, you find one.
Yeah. You said that 9 out of every 10 businesses fail.
There's
Is that
some,
what you said?
There's some stat like that.
Okay.
I think it literally is like 90% of business fail. Yeah.
Did you know there was something special about Sodabox that would like make it succeed when you first started?
Like I said, like entrepreneurs, we're just like chronically optimistic. Like I've learned to just be like, I have to like chill myself out because I'm always just like, this is gonna be it. I'm always just so like, we're gonna work it out. It's gonna go. I'm just optimistic, and I think you have to be, honestly, if you're an entrepreneur, like, because like I said, it's about not quitting. And if you're like easily frustrated and don't have like, I don't know, emotional endurance, and I've built this up over the years, right? Like, the companies have just gotten bigger and bigger and more riskier, and we have like 100 employees.
Wow.
And it's like, how did that happen? Before all the other
Yeah.
businesses I had like 1 or 2 or
Yeah.
maybe I had a small marketing company that was maybe 10, and that builds up over time, the resilience. But when, I was like, this just makes sense. Like, I'm like, it's blowing up in the West, but the South is the home to soda. Like, this makes sense. And I remember someone saying, if someone's going to do this here, why not you?
Mm.
Absolutely.
I was like, oh, that's a cool concept. Yeah, okay,
Yeah.
screw it. Yeah, why not me? Let's try it.
It was definitely going to get done here if you didn't do it first
Yeah.
because like especially on TikTok, dirty sodas have like been blowing up recently.
Yeah.
And
That's great. Yeah,
So-
we're waiting. I think the first year, like 2021, 2020, I'm like, come on, catch on. Come on, catch
Yeah.
on. But yeah, there's definitely a lot more in the media about it for sure. It's been good. Yeah.
so speaking of social media, how have you guys like utilized that / what platforms have you guys been using to like promote Sodabox?
Yeah, absolute must. I mean, it's the only place to promote. I mean, old media, I'm like, sorry,
Yep.
dead. But it just is. It's like, I'm like bummed out when like a radio station or like a TV, like we did, I won't say the name of it. We did a show here in North Carolina. And it literally was like absolutely zero impact. I mean, it was crazy to like we went on TV
Yeah.
in our market and nothing that day or that week changed at all. It was bonkers to me. I'm like,
Yeah.
how in the world? But yeah, social media, absolutely huge difference. We have some incredible people over our social media. Definitely invest in that. I would say that the most important ones are definitely Instagram and TikTok. Meta in general. Our demographic, like one of our core, it's like college kids and then like their moms.
Yeah.
It's like this gap,
Yeah.
you know. And so a lot of millennials and older are still on Facebook. So we actually have a lot of success on Facebook still.
Well,
So that's really good. But Instagram and TikTok are definitely the place to be. And their vibes are a little bit different. You know, Instagram's a little bit more polished up. TikTok's a little bit more raw. But we've had some great, we've invested more and more time in there. And we've had some great content go semi-viral.
Yeah, and social media is only going to continue to grow. That's my whole thing.
Yeah.
Like, that's why I wanted to get a business degree, because I'm like, it's only going to continue to grow. Everyone's going to end up utilizing it. So it's really interesting to hear it from the owner stance.
Yeah, no, you have to do it. I mean, like, how else? I mean, honestly, the alternative, you know, when you look at like your marketing levers, I call them, it's like, okay, how can we get awareness, right? Which is the top of the funnel. It's like, how do we get awareness? How do people hear about us for the first time? And it's like, literally the options are like, do posts or stand on the corner of the street with a sign. Like, it's the same thing. Like, it's interrupting people's normal flow with like, hey, Sodabox. It's like, oh, what is that? Like, you need to get 10 of those. And then they're like, oh, maybe, I've heard of that. Their friend says, have you gotten a dirty soda? What's that? Go to Sodabox. Oh, I saw some kid holding a sign on the side of the road this one day. It was a Sodabox sign. Or, oh yeah, saw some random post in my feed 4 weeks ago. It takes time, and you have to build awareness. You have to get in front of people. So, you know, just the numbers. I mean, there's billions of people on social media and millions just in this area. So you have to do it.
yeah, absolutely.
Okay, going back to kind of the marketing aspects, the social media side, how did you come up with like the Sodabox logo, like the Sodabox colors, the whole scheme of everything? Because that's what draws customers in too, is like how it looks.
Yeah, the look, the feel. It's funny. Like, I'm the like marketing vibe feel side of things, and my brother is definitely like the mechanical logistics side of things. And so it's funny that it's a challenge to explain to him, and he sees it now. But it's like I like the word I finally got around to was vibe. I'm like, look at the vibe of the logo. Look at the vibe of our stores. It needs to feel this way, right? And he's just like, just make it red. That's the most like interrupting color. I'm like, you can't just make it red. Red makes you feel a certain way. It's like an action color, or it's if you do red and black, for instance, like we have red and black in our logos, but I'd like never let us use them one on top of the other, because it's like, it looks like communist party, like little, you know what I mean? Like they have like these histories, but what you'll notice is in food, they always use red. You'll look at McDonald's and all the guys, they always put with food, because I don't know if it makes you hungry or what, but it is an action color. I remember early in my marketing career, I was doing A/B tests, and we had these landing pages, and they had a call to action, give us your email or something. And the only thing we tested was a blue button or a red button. And red got like 2 times the emails just because the button was red.
Wow.
It's crazy what colors and stuff can do. So making the Sodabox logo definitely was, you know, who's our target audience? It was like, okay, these millennial parents, these college kids and things like that. So I wanted it to be fun. One of the challenges actually over the years have been making the brand more feminine. Because originally we were in this gray shipping container. And so the very first Sodabox we did in Apex, we kind of brought in the shipping container vibe. Our floors are concrete sealed, and the walls are gray. Now we have these like big pops of color and stuff, but before it was just like all gray, our logo on top of that. And I remember this one picture popped up on our social media, and this person had put their kid on the floor, which was like in a little oh my gosh, a baby carrier. I don't know. Baby carrier on the floor, corner, you know, where it says our Sodabox logo, and took a picture with a shipping container-esque walls are. And I'm looking at this picture, and I'm like, this could be in a parking lot. Like, this is not the vibe. I'm like, like, if you want like the girly moms to like take a selfie in here, like, I don't want them to feel like they're in like a warehouse parking lot. So I literally flew some friends out. I have great, incredible, and I use them to help me make the logo and stuff. and his wife is the girliest girl I've ever met in my life. She literally has a hair salon in her house.
Wow.
And I'm like, please help me. Please help me. So her and him, they all came out, and we, in 2 or 3 days, repainted all the stores to be
Wow.
more white, bring in teal, brighter, funner colors, and got rid of some of the gray because it was like, okay, it's a little depressing in here. Even though we're mostly a drive-through, but when you do come in, we want it to be a fun vibe.
Yeah. I've seen on Sodabox's Instagram, y'all do like a photo booth in one of your stores.
Yeah.
What's the thought behind that?
So from the very beginning, I always wanted to make a brand that people will share for me. Because it's expensive. You have to pay to get in front of people. And I'm like, the foundation, the idea of Sodabox at the very beginning actually was all the corners to be selfie corners. So at the very beginning, I wanted to make almost like selfie booths and have one corner be bright pink, have one corner have like the vines coming down the wall, have one corner have balloons. And so it was like very selfie forward. So I was like, people can post for us. And that's kind of evolved into, I originally had ring lights. So we had these like really big ring lights. It was like, oh, just put your phone there. People wouldn't do that. It's like it's so crazy to think that looks so obvious, but like just the barrier of having someone have to click their phone into a ring and do it, like no one was doing it. So we did this test where it was like, well, let's put an iPad there that's already built, and then they can just like text them their own, and like instantly every time they walk in, like selfie booth. So we have our own custom little selfie booths, iPads that take pictures of people. They send to themselves and they share in every store now. And so that's the idea, is definitely want people to share their experience, have a good experience, and then take a picture and tell their friends.
Yeah. I've used those like iPads where you text yourself the photo,
Yep.
and they are super easy.
Yeah.
And I've had them at like weddings and like formal events and stuff.
Yes,
So
exactly.
that's
So
a good idea.
yeah, it was like you could temporarily rent them or whatever, put them in there. So we did that one store, and then I was like, all right, I want these permanent, and we built them in our own little cup logo, and they look super cute. So yeah, they're in all the stores now. Absolutely essential. And the other thing that was like a happy little consequence is not all the stores have it because the walls just don't work, but we turned our Sodabox logo, the like square, into a chair.
Oh,
We
wow.
attach those
that's
all the
cool.
walls. So that's pretty fun. Is most of them are pointing towards that. You can go sit in the Sodabox chair
Yeah.
and then take a selfie.
That's like those, those big like beach chairs that are sometimes out of like Mexican restaurants or
Uh-huh.
like at the beach.
Or like Duck Donuts.
Yeah. We were
Yeah.
at Duck Donuts this past weekend, and we were taking photos
Yep.
in the chair like that. So that's a good idea.
Exactly. Yeah. We I went on vacation to Tulum, Mexico, and I swear that entire place is just built for Instagram.
100%.
Every wall, every corner of that place is like curated for Instagram. In fact, that's where you find like a lot of like big influencers is they go there just for actually low-key don't like it. I'd rather go somewhere else because I think it's the most expensive city. Like I swear,
I believe
in
it.
Mexico. But I was totally inspired by like, wow, you can really have like curated selfie. Like you'll be in like some like gross callejon, like a little like street, and then at the end of it is like this like beautiful chair and the beach, and you're like, oh, take a picture.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I also like how on the Instagram I'll see like sometimes there'll be a post of the customers like in their car, and I always see like my friends or like
Yeah,
my
that's
roommate,
great.
and I'm like, oh, I know where they were. They're
That's
at
awesome.
Sodabox.
That's totally what we want. That's perfect. That's good to hear. Yeah, our social media team is crushing it.
Okay. So back to you wanting to have experience being an employee, to be a good employer. How do you use that to have a good working culture and just have a positive and uplifting experience at work?
Yeah, one phrase I've heard a lot is the fish stinks from the head down, which I don't know if that's true. I don't know. Does a fish start stinking from its face? Is that a thing?
I don't
Could
know.
not
Have you
you.
heard that phrase though?
I haven't.
You have not? I feel like that's a common phrase. Okay. So the fish starts singing from the head down. So the idea basically is like the top of the company sets the tone, sets the culture. And so that, like for the customers, I want it to be a good experience. I want the vibe to match their vibe. Very similar with employers. And, my brother Brent is one of the most hardworking people I've ever seen. And both of us get on the line all the time and make drinks. Brent more than me. I like to sit back and watch, like, okay, is our systems in place? Like, can they handle this rush? Things like that. But I think it's really important for the team to know, no matter what your rank is, no matter who you are, you're just there to win for the customer. Things like that I've seen before at the one or two companies I worked for where you had those executives that were just like, you knew which ones were real and which ones worked late and which ones worked hard. And you just wanted to work harder for them. And then you had the ones that were like fake. Like there was this one finance guy that put a cot in his office, but never used. It was like we would like talk about in the business, in the company. It was like, he literally was just trying to pretend like he slept there. Like he was trying to create this fake legend of him. And everyone just saw right through it. And it was like no one wanted to help him. It was like, dude, you're fake and you'll say things that aren't true. You'll talk bad behind my back or whatever. So that from back in the day, I'm like, okay, I always want anyone that ever works for me to know I got their back. I'm not going to be shady. Everything I do is just me. This is just how it is. And then also makes you work on yourself, right? Because it's like, you can't just pretend to be this great boss. You have to like put work in and go to therapy and like work on yourself to be able to be someone that maybe people look up to.
Yeah.
You can't say you work hard. You have to actually work hard.
Yeah,
right?
definitely.
Like you have to do it. And then they see it. If you would just walk around and be like, I work so hard. Be like, dude, you come in like once a week. It doesn't work. So I feel like the culture matches your tone. And then I feel like what you also have to do is unfortunately on the bottom side is you got to get people out that kill the culture fast. If they are downers or mean or toxic or whatever, verify that and get them out because it is like a virus. It will spread. We had a whole store really just from the manager, like what is going on? Like sales are going down. Like people are showing up late. Like what is happening? And I don't want to get too dramatic, but we basically nuked the store. It was like, all right, manager's gone. Everyone's fired at this point. If you want your job back, you have to apply for it.
Yeah.
And so the ones that really wanted their job were like, oh my gosh, like knew we were serious, reapplied. So we kept one or two. And like instantly, the next week, it's like everything was better. It was like, wow, like vibe really matters. How we're talking to customers is how they're being managed. If the manager is talking down to the sodarista is going to talk down to the customer. And so it's been extremely important for us to like make it a good environment because ultimately that makes it a good environment for the customers.
Yeah. So now that you have like so many different locations, are you and your brother able to spread yourself to all the locations or do you have to pick? Like,
gosh, it's so hard. I mean, I don't want to say we overexpanded too fast, but oh man, like 3 stores a year. It was wild. No, we're definitely spread and we've had to open up the team and that's been extremely helpful is just like having more people on the team, more management and things like that can, people we trust and put strategic people that are important to us in certain stores. So we've definitely had to, another phrase I've heard before, not as weird as the fish one, but you have to give up to go up.
Yeah.
And you really do have to like empower and entrust other people. They're not going to do it every time like you would have, and you got to get over that. Believe in people, and they'll level up. And so we've had to definitely spread ourselves thin. So yeah, we choose what stores, and we depending on what needs to be done there. This morning, the air fryer went out at one store, so like go to my house, take my personal air fryer, and it's in the store this morning. So I had to go to that store because they needed an air fryer. But don't worry, guys, the pretzel bites are going to be the new air fryers coming today.
They're so good.
But in the meantime, it's like my little baby personal air fryer that's like this big. I'm like, you can only do one pretzel bite at a time. So it just depends what the stores need, and we try and get into all of them, a couple times a week.
Really nice to hear about how much you care about your employees and just about your overall business, because this is going to sound shady. I promise I don't mean it to be, but I know a lot of entrepreneurs or people who own businesses in my hometown that seemingly just do it for like the status to be like a top dog. But, from what you've said, like you truly care about what you do, what products you make, how you sell it.
Thank you. I'm actually like, I talked to my social media manager about this a lot. Like it's weird. So I know I need to do more selfie videos. I know I need to be on camera more. I know I need to talk more, but I'm like afraid of that. Like I'm not doing it for me. Like I have an account called Sodabox Scott. And it's like my alter ego or whatever that I'm like, oh, I'm Sodabox Scott. Like it's about me, and I hate it. But it like you have to do it. Like you guys are talking about. Like if you don't stand on the corner and hold the sign, people don't know you exist. And so I learn a lesson every time. Every time I do a video, every time I post, like people talk, share, and all of a sudden sales are better the next day. I'm like, gosh, I just need to do that more. Like get over the cringe, get over what people may think about you.
Yep.
Like I have to push through it. But yeah, thank you. It's hard because it's like I still even though I have the post, like the little I have posted, I have heard one or two like friends that were just like, oh, like this is the Scott show. I'm like, come on. Yeah, I'm like, it really isn't, but it also kind of has to be, you know, like,
Yeah.
I remember someone said something that was like, you know, if you look at the big companies, you look at their followers, and then you look at the founder of their company, the founder always has way more followers,
Yeah.
right? Like, not to get like political, but like, I use this example, and now it's like a political example, so that's not what it's about, but it's just a good example, is like way more people follow Elon Musk than follow like Tesla, SpaceX, and way more people follow Jeff Bezos than follow Amazon, right? And so it's like people care about the story, about the person behind the company more than the company. And so I'm trying to integrate the two, but every time I put the camera up and I see myself up there, I'm just like, ugh, okay, go. But yeah, it is important. And then I guess you just got to stop caring sometimes what people think. But I appreciate and having the opportunity to be here to say like this, because I'm realizing I haven't, like, I believe this, and we've put in programs and systems. Like, that's why there's music inside and why I want them to pick the music within reason. There was like a season at Sodabox where the music was like not the same vibe as our customers. I'm like, hey, we need to chill it out, and like also explicit, like turn that on, like don't do that. But yeah, you kind of got to push through it, and hopefully, because we care so much about the end customer experience, we get that back where they come back and help support us and love us as much as we love them, you know?
Yeah.
Definitely.
Mm-hmm.
So this is off topic a little bit, but how are you and your team able to come up with like new drink combinations? Kind of back to the cheerwine thing, but
yeah. I've been blessed with, some people call it ADD, you know, some people, I like with the, energy drinks back in the day, I just always wanted to try different flavors and combinations. And like, to this day, I'll go to a restaurant or a bar and I'll just be like, hey, make me a drink. What do you want? Whatever you want to make me. Like, surprise me. Like, I still do that. I literally have gone to restaurants and just say to the waitress, order me whatever. Order me what you think. Well, do you have any? Luckily, I don't have any allergies or anything like that I have to deal with. So I'm literally just like, I want to try something new. So it's just part of me. And so, yeah, I'll just every day kind of make a new drink, to be honest. I definitely fall into like, oh, this is my favorite drink right now. But I don't have one that's like the drink of all the drinks that I've always just been my favorite. Like, I'm not even like really into like Coke and Pepsi, but there was like Dirty Razzmatazz was like my drink for a while. I was just like, this is a sleeper. I'm like, this drink is maybe the best one on the menu. So it just rotates. I want to say I get bored, but I'm just like, what would coconut and strawberry taste like in a cheerwine, you know?
yeah.
So it kind of comes to me, and that's another thing I need to like document, because every day I'm like, this and that. Social media manager's like, come on, Scott. But yeah, though it definitely was part of inception. You know, I think we have like 80 drinks now, and there's only like 20 on the menu, and so there's like this. I know we call it secret menu, but it's like all the old drinks we've made. They're all still actually like in the computer on the drinks, so you can still get drinks from even the shipping container days. It was like a totally different menu, but we've just curated the drinks on the menu today is what most of the customers are ordering and like. But it's hard. It's so funny how different everyone's palate is.
Yeah.
Like, I've done a few like bring customers in, blind taste testing, let's hang out round table. And like, for instance, I thought everyone loved the Dirty Floater, which is basically tastes like a root beer float.
That is actually my drink of choice.
Yeah.
I
so
love
it used to be
root
called
beer.
Dirty Floater, and now it's the Floaty Floater. And so it's like technically the Dirty Floaty Floater is the full name. But during that round table, I was like, okay, here's like the baseline. I'll give everyone this drink, and then I'll give them another drink. And they're like writing down their dislikes, and it was like 50-50. Like, half of them were like, I just don't like root beer. And I was like, everyone loves this drink. I'm like, I don't understand. Why do you not like? And it was like, I just learned. I'm like, man, you cannot make that's why you have to have such a diverse menu. Because you have to have kind of more bitter, more cream-based drinks, and then you have to have like really acidy, sweet drinks for other people too. So it's been fun because I can just be all over the place and then see what people like. Yeah.
Root beer is my favorite soda, but I know it's kind of divisive. Like some people hate it. So yeah.
Root beer's got an interesting history too, like how it's made and stuff like that. Have you looked into it? It's like like genuinely is made from like tree roots.
Oh, that's cool.
Specific trees and stuff like that. It's a cool history of how and that's been fun too. It's like I learned like where all this stuff comes from, and like Coca-Cola's got an interesting background. Used to literally have cocaine in it.
Right.
And so it's like, and I think they actually still they import cocaine leaves that don't have cocaine. I don't know, it's a different strain of cocaine leaves. So they actually still, like the government imports cocaine. Oh, man, I hope this is true. I'm pretty sure this is true. But when I last read it, I'll just say it was Wikipedia, so that way it's like not verified.
Right.
No, but yeah, they still put coconut leaves flavor in their drink and stuff like that. Yeah, but back in the day, Dr. Pepper was literally Dr. Pepper because it was first doctors used it to like help upset stomachs and stuff like that.
Oh, that's cool.
It's medicine.
Yeah, it's medicine. That's what I tell myself every time I'm having a dirty Dr. Pepper.
Right.
I'm like, thanks, doctor.
Yeah.
I feel better today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So a dirty drink has creamer in it.
Mm-hmm.
And I know a lot of people now are like choosing to go dairy free for different reasons. Do you guys have like almond milk, oat milk, stuff like that to put in?
Thank you so much for the question. No, we literally like last month launched coconut creamer also. So we had just half and half creamer for forever. And then last month, maybe a month before, we launched coconut creamer. So now there's a non-dairy option, and coconut creamer is delicious. So
nice.
Put in there too. Mm-hmm.
Is there any other like allergies that you guys have to deal with?
The root beer we chose is a non-caffeinated root beer. There's some root beers that have caffeine and stuff like that. So I'm pretty sure ours is Barks. And it's not caffeinated. So things like that where it's like the kids. But again, that's something like we don't necessarily talk about, but was like a choice we made.
Right.
That I need to tell people about, like why this is our root beer. So like, a lot of parents don't want their kids, with caffeine. So look at the Sprite drink and things like that. We have some of the store, we'll do hot chocolates in the winter, and we'll have Nutella in one of the drinks. And so we have to have like a separate little blender and scoop and stuff that don't touch nuts.
Right.
So things like that. But, sugar, water, ice, pretty safe.
Yeah. I just ask because I'm always interested in what kind of thought goes behind that stuff, because that's not something, I don't have any allergies, so I'm not thinking about that
Me too.
on the regular, but I have a lot of friends who have different palates. So
yeah, every time I get coffee and they're like, is 2% milk okay? I'm like, is there another option? What are we talking about here? Give me the real deal. Give me the milk. Yeah. Sorry for everyone I just offended.
So we've kind of touched on like overcoming challenges with having like a good attitude and a mental space. Is there anything you like to do, like if you've had a stressful day at work? Like, do you like to go on a walk? Do you like have a comfort show, comfort food?
Yeah, great question. So my comfort habit is jujitsu.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
Cool.
That's been a godsend. And funny enough, I literally had a conversation with, I was meeting someone in my building, and, what do you do? Blah, blah, and he turns out he's like this like third degree black belt world champion in the 90s, like Gracie, big deal jiu-jitsu guy. And, he's like, well, why do you do jiu-jitsu? And I'm like, I literally just do it because it's the only time my brain turns off. And he was like, exactly. He's like, you get it. I'm like, my only goal is to show up. I'm not trying to win nothing. I'm not trying to learn all the moves and all the people. It's just this flow state you get in. Can't think about your phone. You're hand-to-hand combat with another person. The only thing that matters is literally the present moment. It's meditation for dudes. Like, I don't know how to explain it, but it's extremely stressful. It's extremely hard. And it's funny. Like, it's like, for me, it's like, oh, there's this crazy thing we need to fix that. The plumbing went bad. Da, 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 da. I'm like, well, someone was trying to strangle me this morning. So like fixing the plumbing is a little bit less stressful than like some guy trying to kill me. Like,
that makes sense.
Low-key. So it's helped set the bar of stress, but it's also physically really nice to get all that energy out. I sleep a lot better. My mind's a lot clearer to have some sort of physical exercise. So I love jiu-jitsu. That chills me out, funny enough. Funny enough, like when you learn to fight, you want to fight less. That's for sure. Like out and you realize like how dangerous it is.
Yeah.
So just like lay that down. Like people, like a lot of people that are like really into fighting are like pretty gentle. It's been cool to see. And what was the other part of the question?
Comfort shows.
Brooklyn. Let's see here. Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a good
like
show.
one we've gone to. There's an old one. It's like the only show I've watched like 2 or 3 times all the way through. It's called Community. It's about a
I've heard
community
of it.
college. Oh my gosh, it's so funny. Donald Glover's in it, which is like he's a
Oh,
big
yeah.
deal now, but that's like
Yeah.
when he was acting. And Chevy Chase, who's an old school, really funny guy from SNL. But yeah, so those are like my 2 like whatever shows. I don't watch a ton of TV, but I'll do that. I'll dabble when I need to with a little Brooklyn Nine-Nine or Reno 911 is another funny cop show. My gosh, that show's a lot, but it's funny.
Yeah. Well, do you have anything else to say about Sodabox or entrepreneurship or anything like that?
No, you guys did an amazing job. This was a really good podcast. Well done.
Yeah.
Yeah,
thanks.
is this a class? Is this like you're like students in this or is this
No,
No,
it's
just-
kind of just our own thing.
No
Yeah.
way.
Yeah.
I was gonna say it felt very natural. This was like this felt like a true podcast. I mean it is.
Oh,
This has
yeah.
been great. Well
Thank
done.
you.
Yeah.
We normally like to close out with our thorn and rose of the day or week,
Mhm.
which is like a high and low. So if we want to do that, that'd be great.
Well, you guys start though.
Okay,
I wanna
yeah.
hear- yeah.
I can go first.
Okay.
My rose of this past week was me and Layla and another friend went camping this past weekend. That was really fun.
Nice.
My thorn is that finals are coming up and I'm not looking forward to that.
Yeah, those are good and bad, I guess.
Mhm.
I'll start with my thorn. My thorn is that my voice is a little scratchy because of the wind, and I've had to step out like 3 times to cough. Sorry
Poor
about
thing.
that again.
Poor thing.
And then my rose is that I also had a good time this weekend, and then this coming weekend I'm going home for Easter, so I'm excited to see my
Oh, that's
family.
awesome. That's
Yeah.
awesome. Well, we'll do a little Sodabox plug for the NC State students. So
Yes.
because of finals and things like that, we're actually launching today, and we'll be, don't tell anybody. I mean, don't tell the administration, but we're going to be passing out cards all over campus. And it'll be a BOGO deal. So it'll be like buy one, get one free just for NC State students, just for finals. So
Cool.
over the next 2
Nice.
weeks, if you're lucky enough to find one of those cards, come on down. And let's see, a rose and a thorn. This is a little combo. I actually just pushed myself to do a little Sodabox Scott post. I haven't posted it yet, but my father passed about like 10 years ago, and he loved Diet Coke. And so we have a drink on the menu called Seatown Pops, which we're from Seattle. So that's Seatown, and then Pops is we call Dad Pops. And so we're doing a little tribute. On the 18th was his Friday. We're doing, he would have been 67. And so we're doing 67% off any Coke, Diet Coke drink or
Oh,
that's
wow.
Seatown Pops.
Yeah, well,
But it's just it's fun to have a personal company that you can instill personal things like that into the company and then have people partake of them, like be a part of it. It's this cool extension. Like it's like maybe this sounds a little dramatic, but it's like my dad kind of lives on through these ideas because I get to like
Absolutely.
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
Like it's kind of cool. It's not something I ever thought I would be able to do necessarily or like wanted to do. But it is fun to like when people ask like where did the name of this drink come from or how'd you come up with this? It's like it's our history. It's like part of who we are, right? Like I think that's what's cool. And what you'll see about the podcast is it will evolve into who you are. That's like what the podcast becomes when you put more and more yourself into it. So it's been cool to see as Sodabox grows, more people put their vibe into Sodabox and it evolves as more people come on board. So super fun. Yeah. Thanks for letting me share.
yeah, of course.
Thanks for being on. We've been looking forward to this, so
Yeah.
Awesome.
we're excited that it finally got to happen.
Yeah. One thing that's really good is our Instagram is we post daily deals. So if anyone's interested in Sodabox and wants a deal, every day we have a different deal. It's in our stories, sodabox.love. And that I should have talked more about that. Like our website is sodabox.love.
Yeah.
Our Instagram handle is @sodabox.love. Like from the beginning, it was always this idea of like, how can we spread the love? In a lot of our stores, we have this little box, which is share the love. And like people can write on the cards. And then we'll, when we get to it, read those cards out. But it's all like love based, kind of like you guys do with the rose
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
the thorn. It's
Yeah.
like, hey, what's a positive thing? Let's give, more love into the world, even if it's from, taking a sip of a soda, makes you smile. Like,
Yeah.
at least that moment's a little bit better.
Yeah, we wondered when we were emailing back and forth with Jake.
Mm-hmm.
We wondered why the
Sodabox
dot
love.
love.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just loved the idea, and we like use hearts and things like that where we can. But you want a purpose behind a business other than just like I want to make money. It's like that doesn't work. You'll gas out.
Yeah.
You got to have a better purpose, and for Sodabox, it's spread the love. So
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, thanks so much for coming on.
Yeah.
And
you.
yeah, we'll catch you guys on the flip.
Bye.
Bye.
Music in this episode is from Loopmaster's Hip Hop and R&B Breaks.